everybody for joining this call today. The topic today, what matters, planning your career during crisis. So this call will be shared on our Career Go page in social media, and the recording will be uploaded. So if you're not comfortable being streamed or recorded, please leave the session now. Again, this is just a disclaimer. We have to tell everybody. The community will boost your networking, through, sharing your LinkedIn profile. If you're comfortable connecting with everybody on this call, this will help you grow your network, and achieve your job career. You will be practicing skills, you will get knowledge, and you will share and learn from others, as you ask questions. Our target here is to get everyone at the job they love, and we will work on that to get you to the full potential. So the call structure, again, if you're comfortable, you can share your LinkedIn profile in the chat, so that everybody connects with you and, grow your network. During the call, please, keep your camera on. This is something that is important for you to be comfortable with if you're searching for a job, because this is how you will get interviewed. This is how you will work on this digital world now. Everybody's sitting in their homes and working through the virtual calls. So we'll keep the time for the Q&A, and if you can just maybe limit your questions to 2 minutes so that other attendees can ask questions. At the end of the session, we do a survey, so please just fill this 1 minute. This will help us understand what you need, how we can really better serve you. We take a group selfie at the end, again, as a memory, and also to use it in our social media for networking and marketing for this community. At the end of the session, if you're comfortable, kudos and recommendations would be very good to send to the speaker. This is all voluntary work, nothing paid here. So everybody's just giving this from their heart. They are trying to help you. So if you wanna give kudos and recommendations, that would be great. Our ask to you, if you can engage and ask questions, join and share what you learned with others, connect with others, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to get those videos. So just a little bit of what's coming up. So this week we'll focus on the resume specifically. So there will be a session this Thursday, resume 101, and then Sunday, the 5 tips to stand out in a crowded job market. So those 2 sessions will be focused mainly on the resumes. So our speakers today, Ricardo, the session is gonna again speak about how to plan your career using simple tools. So share a positive note about our ability to drive results and to change outcomes by planning our own professional steps. Ricardo has directed dozens of projects across industries and continents, managing more than $20 billion in global initiatives over the past 25 years. He has written 15 books on project management, risk and crisis management, and transformation, which has been translated into 6 languages and sold more than 500,000 copies. His influence on the sector was affirmed when he became the first Latin American to be elected chairman of the Project Management Institute. Ricardo was the director of the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, Infrastructure and Project Management Group. Ricardo holds a PhD in civil engineering and undergraduate degree in chemical engineering and a master's degree in industrial engineering from Federal University of Minas Gerais in Brazil. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. When he's not traveling the world, share his passion for strategic transformation. Ricardo enjoys gardening and cooking with his wife and daughters in their sunny place in Portugal. With that, I will hand it over to you, Ricardo. Thank you so much for
thank you
us today. And I'll stop
thank
there.
you. Yeah, thank you, Ahmed, for the very kind introduction, and thank you all for joining me. I think before we start, I think this is a great opportunity for us to talk and to discuss career and how we can really move things forward in such a complex world we are living now. So I will try to do my best here to talk to you. So I'm doing a different presentation because I want to show something on the screen here that I used to do. And everything I'm sharing with you, it's something that I do. So it's not, I would say this is not something that I do just for business, but I do really for myself. One thing that I will kindly ask you all is to make sure you see myself big on your screen. Why? Because everybody needs to see my screen, because I will shift my screen. So there is something that will appear instead of my face here. So just to make sure that you are all seeing me as big as you can on your screen, so you can see what I want to share with you. So first, what I want to start with, it's oops, just put down here. It's my work. I work basically with project management. So, but basically, what my work is I support organizations on delivering their initiatives. So I support companies to build power plants. I support companies to build roads, airports, and these major infrastructure projects, merger and acquisitions, and this. So basically, this is where my background comes. And then over time, and this was, I would say, maybe 15 years ago, I started saying, look, instead of only helping organizations to move, why I cannot do something like a simplified version of what I do for capital projects to help me, right? To help me and to drive my interests and this. And this is where everything started, okay? So everything I will show you is started with that. So why I cannot think about my career and my work as like a project or something that I have a goal, that I have my projects, my initiatives, and I track them. So basically, this is what started. So I want to show you this first slide, because this gives the rationale of what I'm trying to explain to you. So if you think about a company, or if you think about your own career, so of course, everything is start at the very top. It's where you want to go, right? What is your aspiration? I like it very much, Ahmed. Your first slide, I think first or second, you're talking about the passion, the job you love. So where you want to go, right? And I think this is the underlining question. Sometimes we are too concerned about going without really knowing where you want to go. And one of the books I read this long time ago about this topic, and they mention a quote from the book of Lewis Carroll, Alice in the Wonderland. It's when Alice comes to the dream and she find a crossroad with the cat. And then she asked the cat, which way I should go? And the cat asked, where do you want to go? And she said, I don't know. And then he replied, then it doesn't matter. So, and this is something that for me, it's really, so I think this, I will show you some examples, but this drives the objectives, and this drives the projects and process and organizational resources. But I want just to spend 30 seconds talking about this white and blue, and the blue written in white, the process and the projects. So processes, everything, every single minute or dollar you spend to deliver current value. Means you go to the job, you eat your food, the money you spend with food today, your rental, your electric bill, the job you do, this is all processes. Means this is what everything you are doing to deliver value now, at this moment. On the white is what really matters for me, because these are things you will spend energy, money, time, but these are not delivering value today, but they are increasing your capability to deliver value in the future. So very simple. When you study an MBA, or when you do a course, or when you do a certification, at that moment you are spending your Sunday studying on the certification, you are not delivering value at that time, but you are increasing your ability to, in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, find a new job, get something. So you are increasing your ability to deliver value. So basically what we all do, and not we, when I say we, I'm saying us plus every single company in the planet. They deliver value today and they are thinking, okay, how do I deliver value in the future? And then at the end, you spend your resources. And this is where you spend your money, your time, your effort. So this is exactly, and in this boundary, of course, and this chart I divided in two, exactly. But maybe sometimes, for example, when you are children, most of the time, your project is very big and your process is very low, right? Because you are not responsible for delivering the current value, but most of the time you are being prepared to deliver value in the future. This is exactly what we are talking here. So moving forward, everything is started for me. I would say the first seed, I told you that I started more heavily in 2006, but this Exam magazine is a Brazilian, by the way, just for you to know, I'm Brazilian, okay? I live abroad for 10 years, but I was born in Brazil. And this magazine is a very popular business magazine, okay? Business magazines talking about companies. It's something like maybe The Economist, but even more on the, maybe Business Week, okay? And then Tom Peters wrote a book called You Inc., and this cover of this magazine changed my life because he said the brand called you. And then I said, what is interesting? And this book is very interesting. It's you thinking about yourself as something you should not rely on everyone else to just drive you. You must really be on the driving seat. And this changes a lot what I was thinking and how I was planning. So basically, what I decided to do, it's how I can apply this to me. So I said, basically, I did a step one, how you define your goals, how you map and select out of hundreds of things that are out, which ones will deliver value. I will show you now. And how you create a tracking mechanism. So how you can create a way that you can track, because this is my belief, is that if you don't track, you don't control anything. You just forget everything. And then how you create your weekly plan. So basically, these are the 4 steps. And I want to start by doing with you a quick demo, okay? A quick demo to show you how I think on that. So I will just stand up. I'm shifting the camera here. So I'm just standing up, so you take a look here. Ahmed, if something does not work and you cannot listen to me, just let me know, okay?
I will let you know, yeah.
Okay, so look, this is just a blank paper. So basically what I do is I take a set of Post-it notes, okay? A set of Post-it notes. And what I do is I start by writing on the top, how do I see myself? And if we're talking about career, it's how do I see myself in 5 years? So for you, what will be the situation 5 years from now that will make you really celebrate? You know, what is success for you? And look, each of us are different. I'm not saying that success is money, and not at all, okay? So what will make you happy and realized in 5 years? Okay, so let's suppose, okay, please, this is absolutely a simple example, okay? Let's suppose that my dream, as Ricardo, this is not true, but just to give you an example, but my dream is to become a farmer, okay? So I work with capital projects, I'm an engineer, but I want to become a farmer. I want to handle livestock. I want to do agriculture. This is where my passion is, and this is my direction. Then I start saying, okay, this is your objective in 5 years. Then you may say, okay, in order to reach this in 5 years, what I need to do in 2 years. So which kind of things I need to do in 2 years, okay, in this scenario of 2 years, to get to that in 5 years. So what I do, so I take here and I start breaking down and say, okay, in order to become a farmer in 5 years, okay, I need to, in 2 years, to learn about stock life, because I don't know. So I need to be ready and having the knowledge. I need to study, for example, financing for a farm, to buy a farm and this. I need to see business models to the farm. So I need to be ready with this knowledge because currently I have nothing. Then I go back. Let me just take another. Then I go back and I say, okay, for you to get to this in 2 years, what do you need to do in 1 year? So in 1 year, which things you need to do in 1 year? And then what do you need to do now? So what I'm doing, it looks simple. It's not. But you go 5, 2, 1, and now. And then everything you think here must be supporting your direction of travel. So let me give you not a wrong example, but an example different. Let's suppose I continue wanting to be farm. And then I decide here, okay, I decide here to open a small restaurant. And then I need to say, okay, by opening a small restaurant, am I driving myself to become a farmer in 5 years? So everything must make sense on your direction of travel. You may have 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter, okay? Of course, you cannot have here 300 because if you have too many objectives in 5 years, do you know what happens? You get nowhere. So you need to do where you want to be, and then you start going down. So this, you can use this, or you can use many other ways of doing that. You can use, for example, I use balanced scorecard. I use other techniques that will help. So basically, what I want now to work with you on this bottom here. Okay, so what happened? Here you will have 1, then 3, and then here, 50. 50, the MBA course or joining a career group or volunteering something, everything will become these initiatives or projects. So basically what I do on my next phase. So let's suppose that on that bottom, you reach it to 50 ideas that will support you in the next year, that will support you in 2 years, to reach your goals in 5, okay? Then each of them will be a post-it note, okay? And then you write it here in your post-it note. Then what do you do? Basically, what I'm showing you here, okay? It's a 2x2 matrix, okay? 4 quadrants. What I do is I put here, okay, cost, what I call cost. And here I put benefit. First, cost is not, it's not money, okay? Cost means the amount of effort, the stress, the problems, the challenges. So this is high cost. Everything that goes on this area is high cost. This area here, low cost. Here, the same, low benefit and high benefit, okay? So what happened here? Let's suppose you have something that you map, this initiative, and you put it here. You map it here. What do you mean by putting this idea A here? It may be a course, it may be a travel, whatever. A here. Means it's a low cost and a low benefit initiative. And this is what I call the irrelevant ones. Or what we call the distractors. Distractor means it's something that does not require too much, but does not add anything. If you take this A and move it here, this is a tragedy because you have high cost and low benefit. This is an awful idea. Means this is something you should avoid because it will drag all energy, money, whatever, and will not let you go to the direction you want to go. If we go here, these are excellent ideas. Excellent, because they are very low cost, but very high benefit. Of course, look, what is natural? You will not find so many here, because if you find so many here, everybody else will find too. So usually what happens is that most of the ideas, they follow something like this. Look, go with me, something like this. Most of the post-its, if you want more benefit, you will need to put more effort, okay? And then you will map up to here. These are the really hard ones. Means they add a lot of value, okay? A lot of value to it's something like, let me give you an example. It's something like on that journey, it's a buy a farm. Okay, it adds a lot of benefit for your direction to become a farmer. But look, it costs you $1 million Canadian dollars. So this is exactly what happens here. So basically, you start mapping this, and then over time, usually I do this. For example, if I have 2 or 3 targets that I want here on the top, I use different colors. Then I put here the different colors. So at the end, you will have a map with a lot of post-its here, all the post-its from what you want to do. And then what I do, I start analyzing them. I start saying, look, why I should do something here? It doesn't make sense. So most of the time, I try to understand, okay, these ones I want to do, right? They are good. Then I take a look here. Do I have arms, money, time to do all of them, or I need to pick some of them? How do I pick? And then you start selecting what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So basically, what I do, I have this kind of stickers here, and I put a green if it's something I want to do. Then I put something like that, means I will do it. Yellow, it's like a conditional do. Let's suppose, for example, that you are now in career transition, okay? So you are not able, I would say, to spend a lot of money doing an MBA, for example. But you can put a yellow saying, look, if I find a job, this will be done. Because as soon as I have a payment or I have more cash, I will do it. And red, I have the red here. And red, you use when you don't want to do that idea, because that idea is not good. So basically, we start mapping that and trying to decide what you want to do. So basically, you will go, let's suppose, from 50 to 20 to 30. And this is what companies do. Large companies, they do this. Of course, maybe they don't use Post-it, they use a more sophisticated process. But just by doing this, it helps a lot. I do this. The first time I did that, I will show you some photos. I did in 2006. And since then, I did every single year. Every single. And I want to show you, this is something I don't show, but Ahmed knows me better now. And why I'm doing this, I will explain you later. But this, what I'm showing you now, this is my plan. So of course now I already digitalized this. I took photos and this, but this is just to give you an idea. These are, if you want to count, 137 post-its, 137 ideas. And these ideas, they are not, listen to what I'm saying, just related to money or career. Let me give you an example. This is to learn how to get a license to hide boats, to hide boats. This here, I want to show you, look, this is very interesting. I want to do a certification. But it's not a Microsoft certification. Do you know what certification is? It's a cheese certification. Cheese, food. Because I love cheese, so I'm challenging myself to do a Master of Cheese program. This is here. Of course, look, the cost is very low. It's very simple. But it's a very strong benefit because I love cooking and I love food. So these, and at the same time, look, business plan for China. Did you see? I'm ranging from things that are related to business and money to things that will give me pure pleasure because I have different targets here. So here, for example, you can see all this red here because these are the ideas that I carry because every year I don't erase this. So every year it's like an update, an update. So every year I have a little bit more. So if you see, this is all I am doing here. So let me give you another example. Uh, Sell my apartment in Brazil. Why? Because this is my plan, okay? This is my plan. One of my objectives is to concentrate financial assets in Europe. So having an apartment in Brazil does not help me to do that. It's the opposite. So this is why it's a green. So I am already planning, organizing, and my objective is to sell this apartment. So this is just to give you a flavor of what is that. Then let's go back here. Let's go back here. So then, what I want to show you here. Let me just move. So let me show you some photos to you. This is 2010 and my daughter. So I used to do this with them. With them. Did you see? Alto means high in Portuguese. Okay. So this is my oldest daughter. I am with my two daughters. This is 2010. Okay, doing that. This is 2012. This is 2013. Okay, and this was the time. I know many people will ask me, what is that? This is InDesign because I love learning design. So what I did, I took a photo and I went to InDesign and I start drawing on the top. And then I like to do that. So this one is already on InDesign and Adobe. Very simple, okay? So this is my UN office in 2015. Did you see on the back? Did you see on the back? This is real. This is my real office there. So with all the project, and these I'm mixing personal UN. So, one thing that I want to share with you, with all of you, is that no matter if you are working or not, you are one individual. So there is no, for example, I know this can sound not a little bit rough sometimes, but for me there is no work-life balance, and why? Because at the end there is only life. At the end it's only life. If you hate your job and you spend 10 hours per day doing something you hate, you have a miserable life. So you need to find this. And so for me, for example, today's Sunday, I'm doing this. It doesn't matter. It's everything. I'm not saying, oh, Ricardo is working or is having fun. It's, I don't care too much about these lines. Sometimes works I did at the UN were extremely nice for me, for my personal well-being, okay? For my personal well-being. And this was last year map. And because this slide I presented to Microsoft last year just to help. So I didn't put yet the 2020. You are absolutely the very first ones to do that, to see this. So this is just to give you a taste of what I do. Look, and this is the plan. Look, this, what I did. What's the difference between this and this? This is the full plan. But because if you look to this, you will think, look, it's impossible to do. It's too many things. But then you take a look here. This is what I did. So what I do is I clean up. I remove all these red things, and I keep my focus. So usually, just to give you an idea, this year, 137, and I think I'm not 100%. I'm doing something like 48, 47. Okay, big ones, big ones, maybe 6, 7. All the others are something like that I can do in a weekend, that I can do in maybe 2 or 3 nights. Okay, so just to give an idea, because when I put this 100, it doesn't mean that I'm doing 100 things. Okay, 100 different, because you need to prioritize. And for me, this helped me a lot. Because, for example, I love learning and I love doing things. And what is my challenge is that because I love doing things, I have a hard time to say no, and then sometimes this helps me. Because otherwise, I start, for example, I love courses. I start a Coursera course in the first week, I drop. And then I start another one, I do first week. And 25 first weeks of 25 different courses, it's nothing because you only deliver when you come to an end. So this is what is helping me to keep my focus on what I need to do. And this, I want just to show you. I know people will ask, so I'm already answering. What I do afterwards, I put this in a basic spreadsheet, a basic. I can send to you. I can send to Ahmed. Ahmed can share with a very basic spreadsheet. What I do is I put the name of the post-it. What is it about? Because sometimes I need to be honest, I don't want to put the real name there. I put something like, for example, Free Willy Project. Then people say, what is that? What is Free Willy Project? It's because, for example, I don't want people to know what is exactly, but I want to remember. So this on the description, then I go deeper on what this Free Willy Project is about. And then I put basically the status. The status I do very simple. 0% means you did nothing on that. 5% means you started, but you are close to zero. Then 25, 50, 75, 95 means it's really almost done. And then 100, okay? And then 100. And then I track. And then I put another column. You see this red one's written, problema means problem. Then I have a status, my personal status. My personal status is something like, okay means it's okay. I feel that I am on a path to get to there. Attention is real, means I need to pay attention because maybe things will not work. And problem means I need to act because things are not working. And this is 2009 when I was finished my PhD. So this is the development of the team, because I don't know, for those who did a PhD, it's a nightmare when you have your supervisor asking you new things every single day. So how you frame that? So this is just to give you an idea. So I use this on Microsoft Excel, and I will talk before I finish. I will talk about timing, and this is what I have. I have a GTD tracker. I use OmniFocus on Mac, okay? But look, if you go on the web and put GTD, Getting Things Done software, you will find Getting Things Done. It's, let me, I think this is the book. I took it for, hold on. Look here, this is the book. This is the book I use. This is from David Allen, okay? Oh, you can find this, a million videos on YouTube about that. This is GTD. This is the technique I use to manage my day-to-day. Because, did you see, I started from 5 years. Then I finished what I will do next week. Just before we started this call, just before, something like 20 minutes, I was reviewing the tasks I'm planning to do from Monday, tomorrow, up to Sunday, in the next 7 days. So I do this. And this is the text. So this is the project. So let me just show you here. Look, this is the project. Look, oops, hold on. This is the project, and these are the tasks I do. And when I put an orange, means is a task that I expect to do this week. This week. So every week I do that. And I am sure that also you will have a question. How much time do I spend on that, right? Because maybe you will think Ricardo spends so much time on that he does not work. So let me explain to you. That post-its I spend, because this year I keep track because people are asking me. So I spend 3 half days. So why 3 half days and not 1.5 days? Because don't do that in one round, because you need to think. So what you do, put this in an area you cross all day in your house, something on the wall. And then 3 days later, stop there, take a look, do a little bit more, go. That because sometimes the time helps you to reflect. And sometimes you have a post-it in your hand and you have no idea where to put. And this is a problem. And then you may say, is this real something I should do? It doesn't make sense. I want to do, but it doesn't make sense for my strategy. So something is not working here. So this is exactly. And then I do this for the ones I do. So every week, Monday, I have this. So basically, that one, I spend 3 half days. Then I spend 1 hour per month reviewing my Excel. So 1 hour per month, I go that on the 40 lines or 40 initiatives I have, very quick. Then once a week, I plan my week and I take a look on what I should do next week, on what I should do next week. So I go from macro to micro. So if I'm, for example, let me give you an example. I'm looking for a job, okay? And then I would say, there is a project. I need to update my LinkedIn. Not profile. I want to update my LinkedIn. Then I create there that task, okay? For example, that post. Then I put here, and then I start saying, what is update? So I need to update my profile. I need to do a research on many profiles to see what they say, how do they introduce themselves, what do they do, how do they do. So I put, then I have another task. How do I increase? So how do I connect to people that are relevant to me? How do I set up my CV, my profile to get a job? So I can watch a movie. So a movie on YouTube saying how you make a powerful. Maybe there is another task. You need to take a new headshot. And why I'm telling you this, it's because Thursday, 3 days ago, I hired a photographer here to do my new headshot because my current headshot is 6 years old. So, and this is part of a project about social media. So you will see if we get together on LinkedIn, you'll see that my photo will change in maybe 3 or 4 days. And this is intentional. This is one line of that. So this is how I can go from very macro to very, very micro aspects. And this, for example, makes me, I would say, very comfortable because for me, it helps me to keep track on the things because I'm very anxious. And if I don't keep track of my things, I start doing so many things and I don't finish. And one thing that I learned, and this is my job, okay? My job, technically, it's something like I transform ideas into reality. So a company, a very large power plant, comes to me and say, Ricardo, I have this amount of money and I need to make this power plant here. And I'm the one to say, okay, for you to make this, you need to have this skill, these people, these are the risks you run, this is how you manage, and 3.5 years later, you get your. So I'm really paranoid of doing things. And this helps me a lot because many times today we live in such an avalanche of information that this amount of information produce stagnation. You get paralyzed. You go on Coursera and you look that they have 500 courses. What happens? You do none of them because it's so much information for you. So this is why you need to be sharp and saying this is a no, this is a yes, this is a no, this is a yes, and then you start shaking. So basically, you should tailor this to who you are. I'm not saying that this works for me. Maybe for you, it's a different one. Maybe for you, you don't need to have 100 post-it. Maybe you need to have 5, 10. I don't know. You can start simple. You can start simple. Instead of trying to do everything and sort out everything, you can say, let's suppose you want to change career. You may say, this is my product. I want to change a career. Which are the initiatives I need to reinforce my network? I need to reinforce my knowledge. I need to see license. Let's suppose you want to work in another country. So, and then you say, okay, how do I reinforce my network? I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do that. and then you start, and then you create an habit. Let me say to you one thing. If you remove this to me, it's like for me flying an airplane with no control. This is where I do ever. For example, one of my projects is to help my daughter, my youngest daughter. She's going to college, so I'm helping her to define what is the best option, and this. So it's a project for me to help them, because otherwise I will be dragged by so many things, and I will not do that. So this is something important. And last but definitely not least, this is not a static plan. And I want to tell you one thing that happened to me in last year. First, I had my 2020 plan, right? Everything nice. In 2019, just to give you a number, in 2019, I traveled 1.1 million miles. I went 32 times to New York, 9 times to China, 5, 6 times to Middle East, 12 times to Brazil. So I was on a plane every single day. So part of my plan was a lot of travel. Suddenly, there is no travel anymore. Suddenly, something like in a week. So you may ask me, Ricardo, if you do that, you get stuck with your plan. No. Do you know what I did? Remember on that day that Trump blocked the flights from Europe to US, on that day was for me the biggest red light, because I saw things are going bad, bad. But on that day, I said, now it's different. Now the world will stop. And it happened next week. So what I did, the first thing I did, I took this board here, I brought it here, I printed my plan, I put on the wall here, and I said, let's revisit everything. Because many of my ideas were based on wrong assumptions. I was thinking about this mobility and I said, so something like 8 or 9 initiatives. I just said, let's drop all of this. They are all irrelevant. And then I created another group of initiatives that saying, look, let's imagine working remotely, working this, from increasing the internet, from doing this, so I shifted quickly. So this is something you need to understand, because this volatility. So sometimes people think, oh, the world is so volatile that I will not do any plan. No, if the world is volatile, it's even better for you to analyze, because sometimes you are doing things that do not relate to what will happen, because things are changing. Maybe things in 4 months from now will be very different. We are all, look, I am right now, I don't know in Canada, but in Portugal, I am in lockdown since January 8th. No restaurant, no stores, just drugstores, food, gas stations, hospitals, pharmacy open. Zero. I cannot, for the first time in my whole life, I cannot leave the country. Portugal does not allow me to leave the country unless if I have a reason to leave. So if I go to the border to Spain, that used to be an open border, and I want to cross, they will say, okay, you need to give a reasoning to move. So this was unthinkable 1 year and a month ago. Was unthinkable. So look now. So you need to think about this. And before I open to questions, I just want to share one thing. I have 2 daughters. Okay, one is 21 and the other is 17. And let me tell you a real case. So for you to know, my oldest daughter, she studies in London. Okay, she's graduating this year at the Imperial College in mechanical engineer. And here is traditional that in the summer of your 3rd year, so 1 year before you graduate, you work, you have work and companies hire, then you work there for 2 months, for 3 months, something like an intern. And this is the chance for you to get a job 1 year later. So it's something like you leave And by August, with something like, we'll make an offer for you for 1 year later, because we know you already know. So my daughter was applying to something like 7 or 8 opportunities. March came, then April, then May. All the offers she received were dropped. Every single one. Suddenly, I was sitting here with my daughter. She came to stay with us, and she was crying, telling me, Dad, it's over. The only chance I have is if I do that, there is no job. So next year, I have no job. She said this to me. And then I start saying, no, look, I told her, I'm Brazilian. I was born in a crisis, and Brazil is still in crisis. Okay, so it's just your behavior. And then I start talking to her, and this gave me an idea that I realized in October, and this has nothing to do with what I do, but I went on I decided to create a series about career, and this series is called What Matters, and this is on my YouTube channel. And then I created 4 episodes of that. One is called Passion. The other one is called Options. The third one is called Roadmap. And the fourth one, Attitude. And I went to the countryside of Portugal. It's beautiful. And I start traveling through the country of Portugal, trying to make some analogies about how powerful we are if we really want to make things. Because most of the time we tend to blame others, we tend to blame, and say, oh, this is not work. But we can make. So we did that. I published this in October, and you will see that episode 3, Roadmap, is this one. It's this one. I gave you a short version of what is that. So you can watch there. And one more time, I'm not career counselor. This is not my job. I did this mainly for my daughters and to help other people to navigate. But I think that if you have this drive and depression, you can be. And this message I'm sending more to those who are facing the challenge of trying to figure out a job. So it's far more inside you than inside other people. So it's something like that. You need to have this energy, because it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy at all. But if you do not take an action, do not expect that Ahmed or Ricardo will take an action for you. I cannot expect that someone will do that for me, because this is, if I don't do, nobody will do. So this is what I want to finish, and thank you very much, Ahmed, for the opportunity to be with all of you. I just want to share with you. I will share again, but if you want to take a note, okay, we have the episode 3, and I have a podcast that has almost 11 million views on Spotify, talking about, not about career, but about different aspects of the working projects. And I will share this with you, so don't worry, okay? I will share this with Ahmed, but I just want to make sure you have this. So Ahmed, ball to you for the questions, and also I will put my LinkedIn on the chat, okay?
That's great. Thank you, Ricardo. Really appreciate all your wisdom here. This is definitely a very practical way for us to stay on track and get to our goals and achieve the job that we love. And with that, I want to maybe open to questions, and feel free to unmute yourself and ask any question from your side. And remember, we're among friends and family here, so don't be shy. No question is good or bad. It's all good. So just go ahead and ask. Be curious. Whatever.
We have some comments here on this chat. One from Renato saying that the examples make the challenge of managing projects in our own lives more practical. So it helps to, get to the practice of everything.
Yeah. No, thank you. And this for me, it's something that I try to make these examples and practice. This is not perfect. Of course, for me, it became close to perfect because I did this so many times. But for you, you need to do your way. Your way. What is important is that you need to do that. You know, you
Yeah.
need to plan instead of just waiting.
And Sarah is saying you should talk about your growing up years and teach something to parents of teens. So help parents of teens, how maybe help them how to, help the teens and reach their
Oh,
goals.
okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, this is
Do you mind if I kind of elaborate on my
okay. Sure,
question?
sir.
Yeah, I got this link really late, so I'm still in my workout clothes. Sorry. So the reason I'm asking is I have a teenager, and you've brought up two amazing daughters, and definitely it would be really helpful to get an idea of I grew up in India, and the way we think in those cultures is different from the way people think in the Western culture. But now I have a teenager in Canada, so it's just that idea of how do you relate to your children when you've come from a different culture, and the world is changing, like everything has changed. Nothing that I know relates to what is happening now, and I don't even know how to guide him. He's almost 17. I don't know. He's playing video games a lot. It worries me. He was a speed skater and an elite athlete. Everything's closed, so he's lost interest in his sports now, and playing video games, online school. So everything is just like I don't know how to wrap my head. My own examples of growing up, from what I learned from my parents, doesn't apply anymore. So what do I do to kind of show him the way, or I'm really lost as a mother.
Sarah, look, I would love to have a perfect answer for you, but I face the same challenges. Okay, I face the same challenges, and I think all of us we face. But I think that there are for me in my life. So just to explain to you, we are among friends here. So I come from a very simple family in Brazil. My father and my mother, they were a middle school teachers, with a lot of difficulties. And one thing that my father taught me heavily, it's something like, my son, you will not have anything because we don't have anything to give you when we are done. But you need to study. This is the only thing. And my father, both of them were quite well educated, so they put this in my mind. And because I was a son of teachers, I had scholarship. When you are son, and then you are allowed to study without paying, and I dedicated this. And today I'm very proud of telling you that, my life is amazing. My life is amazing. So I'm not paranoid about working for money anymore. So I have a wonderful house. I'm far better than I thought in my life. And what is my challenge is how I will grow up my two daughters if they didn't felt that absence of me, because whatever they want, they have. It's something like magic. My daughter came yesterday and said, "Dad, I need something on Amazon to study biology," and then suddenly, poof, there is an Amazon box of 30 euros in front of her. For me, it was not like that. But what I want to suggest is that you cannot control everything, but you need to have some so solid pillars. It's for example, here in this house, my house, we negotiate about everything. We don't negotiate about education. So do your homework and do your work. This we don't negotiate here. Here there is no way you will lose a homework because you were playing. This does not. I will wake up you at 3 a.m., but you will do. There is no way. Everything else we can negotiate. So, and over time, they are so used to that I don't have this trouble anymore because they know that this is unnegotiable. For example, my daughter, it's unnegotiable with her that in terms of, unless she has a challenge on learning, she needs to do that. So you need to say, okay, what is fundamental? And a second thing that is fundamental for me, I'm talking about career, it's every single money I made in my life, I hope to spend with my wife and not with my children. I think what I did for my children were far better than what I received. They have love, good schools, clothes, food, care, but they need to find their path. Okay, they need, I will help, but they should never expect, okay, one day dad will not be here and then I will have a big house. And no, I hope I will spend every single penny. And by doing that, you are creating, I would say, a behavior. You know, this is why, for example, my daughter cried last year because she knew that, of course, she would never be hungry, but she knew that this was something important for her. And I'm very happy because she's fine. She got an amazing job in Germany and she's ultra happy. Okay, ultra happy. But you know, it's a behavior. But it's not easy. And also one thing is that because we are so busy that sometimes we just let it go. And let me tell you one thing, when you let things go, I'm saying, let the kids grow by themselves. There is a chance that they grow in a path that is not aligned with what you expect. And it's natural. This is entropy. You know, this is entropy. Things, you know, for things to go right, it requires energy. You know, chaos comes out of nothing. This is a physical concept. And I'm very, so, you know, it goes for relationship, career, whatever. If you let it go, there is a chance it will go not to the right way. Because of instant rewards and this. So it's not an easy answer. But Sarah, I think you need, and sometimes we are so afraid of being tough, you know, and sometimes we need just to be tough, you know. I'm not, I don't want please to give you a bad example here, but many times, not today anymore, but many times, my daughters, mostly when they are young teenagers, they said, I am owner of my life. And do you know what's my answer? I say, when the money comes from this pocket, the instructions comes from this mouth. The day you pay your bills, give me a hug, then you do whatever. But you don't do things. I want this with my money. No, do it your. The day you make yourself, then you are absolutely. For example, my daughter, do you know what I told her? She's 21 and she will become financially independent in June. And do you know what I told her? I said, I will do a big certificate for you on that. Because, you know, for me, it's the best day of my life. Not because I would not spend money with her. No, it's because now she's free. Now, okay, now you decide whatever you want to do with your life. Of course, then I become an advisor. But people are not free when they are 12 and they say, oh, I don't want to study. No, sorry, this is not an option. Okay, this is not, we are not, we can discuss if you want to ride a bike or play football. Okay, this we can, but there are things we don't discuss, you know, and this is how I behave. I don't know if I helped you, but, and it's everyone is a different person. Okay, so well, this is just my example.
Thank you, Ricardo. Any other questions, anyone?
I just want to make a comment. So thank you for sharing, Ricardo. And this was, sorry?
Sure, are you Brazilian?
Yeah, I'm a Brazilian.
Because I noticed in the second word, because, you know, I said,
accent, yeah.
This is Brazilian English. It's like,
okay. Yeah. Northeast of Brazil is just, our accent is recognizable all over Brazil, either way. But what I want to share is thank you for sharing the methodology that you use. It's very helpful. And having clarity on the steps on how to do, it helps us give direction on what we're doing. And just to share my experience, I do this exercise every year. It's a bit more simple than what you do. So if I take, let me see if I can take here. If I turn off my background, apply. You can see here is my 5-year plan with my 1-year goals. And then when Ahmed asked me to join the community and help volunteer for the community, he said, do you want? And I said, it's aligned to my goal, so I'm in. So remember, so he's just saying yes. And just to share with others, I'm project manager. I help companies implement softwares, but I'm very in love with, notebooks. So my goals, every week I do the exercise of writing down what are the goals of the week, and then I do a review of the week, what I'm gonna do for the next week, and then so I'm just saying that because, as you said, each and every person will follow a different path. They'll feel more comfortable with something. For some people, it will be a software, a Trello board that Ahmed showed last session. For some people, it will be a notebook. For some, it'll be a post-it. So I hope that we all get to sometime this week and use this knowledge to exercise a little bit. And thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay, we're almost on time. I want to respect your Sunday, but I want to check if anyone else have any follow-up question or comment before we end up here. So, anyone want to ask any question?
There are some comments on this chat too.
Yeah, very informative session. Thank you, Ricardo, and thank you, Ahmed, for organizing this. I've been doing the same thing as Ricardo, joining courses. I'm not going beyond 2 weeks. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you all.
So look, Ahmed, thank you. And I think you are doing an incredible job. I think one of the key things, we need to help each other, and now I think this is a value that at least in the past, I would say maybe 7, 8, 10 years, we're losing, right? People are becoming so selfish and so self-centric that nobody helps anyone. And I think, I truly believe that this kind of community is something that we need. And I don't want to spoil, but at the end of the series I recorded, I said about giving back and being grateful. So, for example, for me, being here, it's an opportunity because maybe I'm talking and maybe one of you get, that thing, that light, and then you made my week, and this is what, because otherwise life becomes really hard to be understood, right? When we are locked down, we don't know, and it's very easy for you to get, I would say, pessimistic, right? So we need to help each other on that. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for inviting me. Okay.
Thank you so much.